Welcome everyone. In today's video we're going to relax our minds a little and explore 3 powerful quotes from history's great thinkers and how they connect to the principles of total quality management, or TQM. These quotes are more than just words. They embody the very essence of what makes businesses and organizations thrive through quality-driven practices. Total quality management is not just about following a checklist. It's about building a culture that values excellence, consistency, and customer satisfaction at every level. Through these 3 quotes, we'll see how historical insights still hold true today in the modern business world. Benjamin Franklin once said, "The bitterness of poor quality remains long after the sweetness of low price is forgotten." What does this mean? Imagine buying a cheap product that breaks after a week. At first you're happy you saved money, but when it fails, frustration sets in. That's exactly what Benjamin Franklin is warning us about. This principle applies not only to products but also to services and internal business processes. Here's how it relates to TQM. Customer focus. One of the key principles of TQM is meeting and exceeding customer expectations. If a company sacrifices quality for cost-cutting, customers will remember the failure more than the savings. Poor quality damages a company's reputation and leads to costly rework and lost business. Long-term thinking. TQM emphasizes continuous improvement and long-term gains over short-term profits. Instead of cutting corners, successful organizations invest in quality from the start to prevent future issues. Brand reputation and loyalty. Companies that prioritize quality over price maintain customer trust and loyalty. The more reliable and well-crafted a product or service is, the more likely customers are to return and recommend the brand to others. Here's a real-world example. Toyota versus some budget car brands. Toyota focuses on quality, reliability, and longevity, which is why its cars hold their value over time. On the other hand, some budget brands prioritize low costs and sacrifice long-term durability, leading to higher maintenance costs and lower customer satisfaction. Think about a time when you bought something that was cheap, but ended up costing you more in the long run. Would you make the same choice again? Taiichi Ohno once said, "Without standards there can be no improvement." Now let's talk about what Taiichi Ohno, the father of the Toyota production system, meant by this quote. This quote highlights the importance of having standards before we even think about improving anything. Imagine a chef in a restaurant who changes their recipe every time they cook a dish. Without a standard recipe, how can they track improvements? How does this relate to TQM? Standardization is the foundation in TQM. Setting clear, repeatable processes ensures quality consistency. Without a baseline, improvement efforts are directionless and unmeasurable. Continuous improvement, or Kaizen. Once standards are in place, improvements can be made in a structured, measurable way. Teams can analyze existing processes and identify specific areas for refinement. Reducing variability and waste. If every worker or department does things their own way, errors and inefficiencies will rise. Standardized processes eliminate unnecessary variation and improve predictability. Here's a real-world example. McDonald's, no matter where you go in the world, a Big Mac tastes the same. Why? Because they have strict standards in place for everything, from ingredient measurements to cooking times. This allows for consistency, efficiency, and high customer satisfaction. Interactive thought. Think about your workplace. Do you have standardized processes in place? If not, what challenges does that create? Henry Ford once said, "Quality means doing it right when no one is looking." This quote by Henry Ford speaks to something fundamental: integrity in quality. True quality isn't just about performing well when someone is watching. It's about maintaining excellence at all times. Think about an assembly line worker, a nurse in a hospital, or a software engineer. If they only check for quality when someone is watching, errors will inevitably slip through. How it relates to TQM. Employee ownership and accountability. TQM emphasizes a culture where every worker, from top management to frontline employees, takes pride in quality. If employees take personal responsibility for their work, mistakes are minimized. Prevent over-inspection. Instead of detecting and fixing errors later, TQM encourages doing things right the first time. A culture of responsibility and high standards ensures that quality is built into every step of a process. Building a culture of excellence. When quality is embedded in a company's culture, it becomes second nature, reducing defects and waste. Employees should not need supervision to deliver their best work. Excellence should be part of the daily routine. Here's a real-world example. Honda's stop-the-line philosophy. Employees have the authority to halt production if they detect a quality issue, reinforcing the importance of doing things right the first time, every time. This ensures that defects are not passed along the production chain. Interactive thought. How often do we cut corners when no one is watching? How would an organization change if every employee committed to quality at all times? These 3 quotes from Franklin, Ohno, and Ford are not just words. They are guiding principles for building a quality-driven organization. TQM isn't just a system, it's a mindset. It's about thinking long-term, setting standards, and maintaining quality even when no one is watching. So as you go about your work, ask yourself, are we prioritizing quality over short-term savings? Are we setting clear standards for improvement? Are we maintaining excellence at all times? If the answer is yes, then you are already on the path to total quality management success. If you want to take quality management to the next level, start today by identifying one process in your work that can be standardized or improved. Small changes lead to great results. Check out our other training videos in this series where we continue to delve deeper into the 6 pillars of total quality management, as well as tools, benefits, and how to implement TQM in your organization. Thank you for joining, and don't forget to subscribe for new videos from All Things Quality.